I'm not the biggest fan of the Studio Series line. It's not bad by any means. It's actually pretty good. It's just that, well, it's usually not my thing. I like the odd Studio Series 86 figure every once in a while because I'm a G1 fan, so obviously. I also liked all the new figures for Rise of the Beast, but that doesn't really count because I just really like Rise of the Beast character designs, except for like half of the Autobots, those kind of suck. But yeah, I'm not going to include anything from Rise of the Beast because, like, the only figure that hasn't been shown off yet was Wheeljack. And number one, they already announced that they're going to make one. Number two.
No, I don't want that.
So let's get in top 5 Studio Series figures that I would love to see and would probably buy. I don't know if Studio Series remakes a figure if they're bad enough. I mean, Studio Series RC was basically a remake of Earthrise RC because that's like the most controversial figure since, well, Revenge of the Fallen RC, now that I think about it. Even then, I'd argue it was more controversial because some people unironically think it's a worse figure than that one. Also, if you have that opinion, you're wrong. I'm not even going to question that. That's just a fucking shitty opinion. But that's besides the point. They need to remake one figure that they made because it was really bad. Actually, there's 2. Volkswagen Bumblebee seems kind of be like the obvious one because that's a really good design for Bumblebee, even as a movie line Bumblebee hater myself. It shouldn't even be that hard. The Igniter's Bumblebee, or whatever the fuck it's called, was pretty good. No, I'm talking about Revenge of the Fallen Soundwave. Now, I think movie Soundwave has been pretty bad. The Bumblebee movie design is actually pretty good. I don't even mind the fact that it turns into an autistic snow speeder. I still think it looks cool. No, I'm talking about shit like Dark of the Moon. Like, that is not Soundwave.
Who the fuck are you?
But, you know, a good compromise was Revenge of the Fallen. Him turning into a satellite is interesting. And there was already a really, really good toy with the Revenge of the Fallen one from back in the day. You can have the standard gray one, which looks pretty cool. You had one that was like blue and purple. It came with Bumblebee. I had that 2-pack as a kid, and I thought it was stupid because, well, it's just a worse version of the Soundwave I already have. It also came with movie Bumblebee, and I thought that was stupid. I didn't want it in my house. And finally, there was the one that was packaged in with the Fallen and Megatron. And he was the one I had. He had the colors of Soundwave, but for some reason my dumbass 2012 self thought he looked like Metal Sonic. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me.
Autism!
Oh yeah, that. Anyways, this is such a good design and it was wasted with the Studio Series. Like, this is a figure that is the prime example of they didn't even fucking try. I remember when this came out, everyone blasted it, and I didn't really know why until I watched this video on it, the old versus new, and I was like, oh, so it's like, it doesn't have a transformation. Listen, I understand Soundwave didn't have a robot mode in that movie, but like, number one, neither did AirRaiser, and they didn't really try with that robot mode. That robot mode kind of looks like shit, so, you know, fair enough, fair enough. But number 2, the Studio Series hasn't been above using concept art before, except they've used concept art for characters like Scourge and Bumblebee movie Bumblebee, who actually were in the movie as major characters. So why not use concept art for this guy? I want to see that big motherfucker. Come on, it would be cool. Come on. Come on.
Hey!
I think one of my favorite parts of Studio Series 86 is now that they've done the movie cast of like Hot Rod, RC, Gears, Cup, I don't know. They're just like, okay, let's just have an excuse of just doing characters like Ironhide and Prowl because they die in that movie. And while I do love my boy Wheeljack, I would like to see a new Windcharger because Windcharger's a weird character. I always loved his toy, and I still think that's the best toy of Windcharger. Like, it's not the most accurate, and it's technically not the best, but it has the best design. Because every time they try to make a new toy of him, it's always based off of the show. And in the show, he looks plain and bland as shit. And no figure accentuates that more than the awful Power of the Primes figure, which not only, number 1, had horrendous part leprosy with his elbows on a widespread scale. That shit literally felt like one of those wooden snakes. It was that bad. I I had to put so much tissue paper and Dr. D-Star cum into those joints. So that guy is really in need of a new figure. Now, I just would like to see Windcharger. Unfortunately, it would have to be show accurate because it's Studio Series. If they're gonna do Rumble is blue, Frenzy is red, because that's what happened in the movie, instead of Rumble is red, Frenzy is blue, which is what most normal people go by, then of course they're gonna try to be as painfully show accurate as possible. So I guess it's whatever. I would probably just buy a dead version of him, but you know, I'd like to see Windcharger again, even if he does have to look like an asshole, because he'd be a dead asshole. I don't know why Fall of Cybertron is being used in Studio Series. Studio Series is weird. Like, it was a way to be like, okay, we're just gonna do high-effort movie line toys. Okay, well, Studio Series 86 technically counts as a movie. Yeah, okay, now you're just doing G1 again when that's what the War for Cybertron line was for. But you know what? Legacy's kind of a branch off, so I guess the less they do of G1 in that line, the more they do it in Studio Series. I guess that's why they really need their G1 fix. Can't blame them, though. It's the best part of Transformers design-wise, other than maybe Beast Wars. But Gamer Series? This is called Studio Series, not Gamer Series. It's like this channel where I'm like, well, I'm just going to be doing toy reviews. But also, video essays count? Me just playing LEGO Star Wars counts? No, it fucking doesn't. You're just ruining the point of your channel, you fucking dumbass. But anyways, that's besides the point. I'm not too big on the War for Cybertron stuff. I mean, it's basically G1, but really cool, but I've always kind of resented it because it turns into the aligned continuity, which means it goes from this to this to the... But there was one character that I really want to see from these games, and it's not Soundwave. Listen, I like Soundwave, but they're gonna do them. It's like, not even a surprise. But the one I really want to see get a remake, and similar to Revenge of the Fallen Soundwave as a 2.0, not necessarily for Studio Series, but more as just fixing past flaws, which is, I want the Combaticons. They're already my favorite combiner, which is weird because the Terracons and the Predacons and the Seacons exist. Like, those guys are awesome, but I still like these military assholes for some reason. But that old toy is like, I'd say, if you ever watch my Core Class Sludge review, I said that this was the worst figure in the past 10 years. And if you... When did it come out? Ah, I see. Okay, well, thank you, TF Wiki, for all your help. That was really important for me. Don't pay attention to this. Don't pay attention to this. Just ignore that. That wasn't part of the video. I'm totally gonna edit all this out. Just ignore everything, back to the list. But if you broke that rule and went even beyond that, you know, stuff like Universe Ironhide and Prime Arachnid do truly rival how awful that figure is. And the Fall of Cybertron Combaticons definitely do also fall in that category. So it'd be really cool to see a redo of those, you know, just be a new take on the Combaticons. I love them a lot. The Combiner Wars Combaticons are still really good, even to this day. I don't give a fuck what dumbass hipsters nowadays who have to stick up their ass and basically think if something isn't perfect, then it's bad. Don't watch that review because it contradicts what I'm saying. But I'd still always be down to see more Combaticons. And if we can't get G1 Combaticons, of course they're going to do G1 Combaticons at some point. Come on, look at the designers. Of course they would. I would. But if we can't for now, I think this would be a good substitute. Also, new combiners. That would be pretty cool. Studio Series combiners. Give them something to do while they're avoiding not making literally everyone who appeared in a femtosecond from the 86 movie. So, I'm giving you this offer.
Oh, the tech!
Guess what? We're not done with Studio Series 86, because now I'm going to talk about Optimus. I know, everyone's like, well, I don't want another G1 Optimus, because Earthrise Prime is basically perfect. But I feel like with the recent discourse around that figure, even as someone who thinks the Siege Optimus Prime is a lot better, I still think a lot of it is uncalled for. It's still a great toy. All I'm saying is, it ain't perfect, and a lot of people are starting to realize that. So I think it'd be cool to have a ultimate beat-all, end-all Optimus Prime. Now, with Ironhide being a deluxe class figure, but they bumped it up to a Voyager so they could make it as good as possible. It got me thinking, what if they just did that for all of the main core characters? Like, they had a leader Starscream that didn't have any of the coronation shit, but was like the perfect Starscream of like an amazing robot mode with a waist swivel for some reason, a fantastic alt mode, and a spectacular transformation, but it's a Voyager that costs him out as a leader, or like a Megatron, or like an Optimus. I mean, technically, yes, an Optimus is a leader because of this dumbass trailer, but I want a Commander-class Optimus, in the same vein that I liked the Commander-class Rodimus, because that was a figure that was so goddamn good, and the perfect figure, and the best toy that Hasbro's ever made. I don't even know if it's just Transformers or everything they made. I don't know, if they made Fireball Island, then I guess that would probably beat it, but I think that's it. I really want to see what they would do with the Commander-class Optimus. Make the core robot itself so fucking good, and give us a trailer that finally rivals the old G1 trailer, because in my opinion, that trailer will never be beat. But it doesn't mean they can't try, and, you know, my mind has been changed before. Make something that's better than the Rodimus. Can they do it? Probably not, but I would still really love to see them do it. I mean, think about it. Wouldn't it be so cool to have an Optimus that is technically the size of a Voyager, but looks as good as the RED figure, if not better, because his colors and proportions would be nicer, individual finger articulation, all of the accessories you could have, and all of this effort is to represent the final and best moment of one of the most iconic characters. Isn't it worth spending $30 extra on such a good figure? What could possibly be better than that? Well, if you gotta have Optimus and you gotta have Megatron. So number one is not a Studio Series 86 Megatron, because I fucking hate that guy. And even if they do make a cool Megatron, he won't turn into a Walter P-38. There's no way they're gonna fucking do that. So instead, we're gonna do the actual best design for Megatron, and I am actually stunned that they haven't done this yet. Because the actual Studio Series stuff from the first 5 films, with the exception of, I think, a majority of the Dinobots, they got their ground covered. They got pretty much everything they need, except for like a skids and a mud flap. But who the fuck would care? But to this day, they still have not made a Studio Series The Last Knight Megatron. How in the fuck? Listen, I get he wasn't in the movie for very long, but that is, without a doubt, by far, the best design that Megatron has ever had. I don't give a fuck what you think about The Last Knight. I haven't watched the movie, but I still say it's better than Age of Extinction. Number one, because it has that peak design in it. I don't care how short of appearances, but number two, and most importantly, it's not Transformers The Age of Consent. That's all I'm saying. Do I have to bring up the fucking clip? I don't think I do. But that's besides the point. That's besides the point. The point is, this could potentially be one of the best toys. Now, would they make it a Voyager? Yeah, they probably would. Do I want it as a leader class so they can make it as good as that Unique Toys toy, but like at a smaller scale? You bet your fucking ass I do. I've been talking a lot about figures that are the size of smaller figures but cost more. And I know that probably is a bit controversial to people, but I'm after quality, not size. Like, I do like me some big toys, but I don't mind putting in a little bit of extra money to make it better. Mostly because I'm very, very, very dumb about my money. Despite the fact that I'm still financially stable pretty well. But number two, it's funny when people complain about that. Like, oh, you made a figure that's smaller than the size class it's supposed to be. You're cheaping us out, Hasbro, even though our product's still getting really good. Fuck you, I'm gonna go buy third-party figures where I'm getting Voyager-sized figures for like $100. Or like they'll complain that like the core class Soundwave is a scam because, I don't know, New Age did something that was like almost as good when it came to the robot mode, but its alt mode was better, but it also costs like $40 extra. I love New Age, I really do. And people don't say that anymore, but they did back then. It's just, I fucking love this community. This community is so goddamn stupid. Also, before I end this video, I got rid of my Twitter. I feel like I wasn't being toxic on it. I don't think I was. But I feel like I was just kind of annoying people, and that's probably why I got blocked by TJ Omega. So if that's the reason, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I annoyed anybody by doing that. I'm not gonna have that fucking Twitter account. Even if I was, and there's just really no point. I'm just, I don't know, scrolling and just putting in my response. Like, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck. If they want to hear my thoughts, they should just watch it on this channel. Because this YouTube channel is the best Transformers YouTube channel on the market. What? Other people who have been here since like 2009 when I was a fucking child? Nah, man. This pretentious asshole who records his videos on a fucking phone is clearly the best YouTube channel.